Have you ever seen one of those just breathtaking drone shots and thought, man, I wish I could do that? But then, your mind starts racing, the tech, the rules, the fear of crashing something expensive. Well, if that's you, you are in exactly the right place. In this explainer, we're going to take you from absolute zero to your very first successful flight, all within the European rules.
And yeah, that's a really common feeling, right? You see this incredible footage online, and you just assume it must take years of practice, or that you need to be some kind of expert pilot. Honestly, that hesitation is often the biggest hurdle, and it stops so many people before they even get started.
But here's the secret, the thing most people don't realize. It is not nearly as hard as it looks. Not anymore. Modern technology has made flying a drone surprisingly easy to get into. So let's just pull back the curtain and break this whole thing down into simple, manageable steps.
So here's our flight plan for this explainer. First, we're going to tackle that fear factor head-on. Then, we'll talk about getting you geared up with the right stuff. After that, we'll cover the surprisingly simple rules for flying in Europe. I'll give you a word-for-word script for your first flight. And finally, we'll look at what comes next on your drone journey. All right. First things first, let's talk about that anxiety. Because honestly, the biggest barrier for most beginners isn't a lack of skill, it's just the fear of the unknown. Let's look at those classic fears versus the reality of today's drones. You might be thinking, the second I take off, I'm going to crash it. But the reality is, modern drones have incredible GPS stabilization. If you get nervous, you just let go of the sticks, and it will literally stop and hover perfectly in place. Where you'll lose control? Nope. They have a return to home button that brings it right back to you. You really don't need to be an ace pilot. The machine is designed for stability from the ground up.
And this right here, this is the key. A modern beginner drone is not some wild, untamed beast. Just think of it as a floating tripod. Its natural, default state is to just hang there, perfectly still, waiting for you to tell it what to do. That one simple idea completely changes the game for a new pilot.
So, how can you prove this to yourself before you even spend a single euro? Simple, simulators. This is without a doubt the best first step you can take. You can download one for free on your phone, practice for 20 minutes a day, and get a feel for the controls with zero risk. It's the perfect way to build up that muscle memory and confidence. Okay, so once you're feeling good in the simulator, it's time to think about your first real drone. Let's get into the gear you'll need. And the key here is to start smart, not expensive. Listen, the single most important piece of advice for any beginner in Europe is this. Start with a drone that weighs less than 250 grams. The benefits are just huge. Legally, you don't need a formal pilot certificate for basic flying. They are so much safer for everyone, and they give you a lot more freedom on where you can fly. A popular choice like the DJI Mini series is a perfect example of a stable, easy-to-use drone that fits right in this category. And you don't need a mountain of expensive gear. Really, these 4 accessories are all you need to get going. Extra batteries are non-negotiable. They turn a quick 20-minute flight into a real practice session. An SD card, obviously, is essential for capturing those first incredible shots. Propeller guards? They give you so much peace of mind, especially if you're practicing indoors. And a simple landing pad just protects your drone's camera from all that dirt and grass. All right, you've got the gear. Now for the part that sounds really intimidating, but I promise it isn't, the legal stuff. For a sub-250-gram drone in Europe, it is incredibly straightforward. Believe it or not, this is your entire legal checklist. First, you register online as a drone operator with your country's aviation authority. It usually takes about 15 minutes. They'll give you an operator ID, and you just stick that on your drone. And finally, get insurance. It's often really affordable and just gives you complete peace of mind. That's it. You're done. You're legal. And once you're up in the air, just remember these core ideas for flying safely. You've always got to keep the drone where you can see it with your own eyes. Stay a safe distance from people. Stay well clear of sensitive areas like airports. And always respect people's privacy. Just think of it as your common sense checklist for being a responsible pilot. And now, for the moment we've been building towards. We're going to give you a literal, step-by-step script for your very first flight. This is designed to remove all the guesswork and, hopefully, all the anxiety.
Look, getting ready properly is everything for a good first flight. So before you even think about taking off, just run through this list. First, location. Find a big, open field, far away from any trees or people. Second, weather. Wait for a calm, clear day with a little to no wind. Third, settings. Turn beginner mode on in your app. It'll limit your speed and distance. And finally, safety. Set your return to home altitude high enough to clear any potential obstacles, say 30 or 40 meters.
Okay, here's your script. Step 1. Press the auto takeoff button. The drone will lift up and just hover there. Step 2, and this is the most important part, take your hands completely off the controls. Just watch it. See how stable it is? That's your floating tripod in action. Now gently make small, slow movements. A little up, a little down. Forward, then back. Slowly turn it. When you feel ready, just press the auto land button. The goal here isn't to do anything fancy. It's just to prove to yourself that this machine is predictable and that you are in control.
And when that drone lands itself safely, that is the exact feeling you're going to have. A huge sense of accomplishment, and this powerful realization that, hey, this is something I can absolutely do.
So, you've had that first successful flight. Fantastic. The key now is to build on that momentum, but to do it safely and effectively. So, how do you do that?
First, let's talk about the classic beginner mistakes to avoid. This is so important. Don't fly in high wind. These little drones just can't handle it. Never, ever lose sight of your drone. Don't fly behind a building or some trees. Don't try to show off with cool moves too early. Always land with at least 20% battery left. And finally, never take off until you have a strong GPS lock. Avoiding these simple things is the key to staying safe. And here's a super simple plan to structure your practice. Day 1, just master hovering and smooth turns. Days 2 and 3, start practicing control by flying simple patterns like squares and figure eights. Days 4 and 5, start to think like a filmmaker, practice recording smooth video and simple orbits. And finally, in that first week, get comfortable with your main safety feature by practicing a return to home in a safe, open area. So, once you've gotten the hang of these basics and you're flying with confidence, you're going to naturally start to wonder, what's next? How can I unlock even more potential?
In Europe, that next official step is the A1/A3 Proof of Competency. It's a pretty straightforward online course and exam. Once you pass it, it allows you to legally fly larger, more capable drones. It really opens up a whole new world of creative possibilities, and it's the official path for pilots who want to take their hobby to the next level.
We really hope this guide has helped demystify the whole process and given you the confidence to start your own drone journey. If you found it helpful, a like, comment, or subscription is the absolute best way to let us know we should create more explainers just like this one. Thanks for watching, and fly safe.